B&B spoilers. Is Eric Forrester just spying on Batie? Is Eric Forrester taking the old adage, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, too far on the bold and the beautiful? Katie Spencer and soap viewers at home were shocked when the Forrester Creations patriarch came fishing for a design job at Logan. But there's a possibility that Eric has ulterior motives. Eric and Katie's unholy alliance. Eric Forrester, John McCook, has been in the fashion business a long time, and unlike his overly confident son Ridge, he knows that Katie Spencer's Heather Tom new company could spell trouble for Forrester Creations. Maybe there's a reason Eric is opting to get on Bill Spencer, Don Diamant, and Katie's good side, rather than declaring war on them like Bridge has. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for next week reveal Katie Spencer, Heather Tom, has some reservations, but she is eager to get Eric Forrester on board. Katie's hasty decision could come back to bite her. Fans are having a tough time believing Eric will really betray his son Ridge Forrester, Torsten K. And some theories on social media say he could just be chatting Katie up to get some intel on Forrester Creations' new competition. Eric Forrester changes teams? Ridge's dad is pretty upset about being retired by his family, so his initial intentions really might be to stick it to his son and Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang. However, once the ball gets rolling, Eric could start to feel guilty and have a change of heart. Plus, he's in the perfect position to do some spying and espionage at Katie and Dollar Bill's new company. The halls of the Forrester mansion have seen their fair share of secrets, but the very sad news rocking the bold and the beautiful fan base this week involves a twist no one saw coming. While fans were bracing for a simple corporate rivalry, the drama has taken a dark, emotional turn. The legendary Eric Forrester, a man once defined by his loyalty and class, has been caught in a web of surveillance and secrecy that centers on his former sister-in-law, Katie Logan. If you've been following the 2026 storylines, you know the tension between the Logans and the Forresters is at an all-time high. But the revelation that Eric has been spying on Katie metaphorically and literally through the lens of corporate espionage has left viewers devastated. The setup, a house divided. The stage was set when Katie Logan, Heather Tom, fueled by a need to finally step out of Brooke's shadow and Bill Spencer's protective bubble, decided to launch her own fashion house, Logan. For Brooke and Ridge, this wasn't just a business move, it was an act of war. Brooke, ever the protective matriarch of a Logan name, felt Katie was playing dress-up and diluting the brand she spent decades building. Ridge, on the other hand, viewed it as a direct threat to Forrester Creations. Brooke doesn't own the Logan name any more than Forrester owns me. Eric Forrester to Donna, January 16, 2026. The shocking spy twist. The sad news stems from the way Eric has positioned himself. While he officially joined Katie as her lead designer, the latest episodes suggest his motives may be darker than simple retirement boredom. Rumors and spoilers for the week of January 19, 2026, indicate that Eric hasn't just been designing. He has been keeping a watchful eye on Katie's every move, her private conversations with Bill, and her business strategies, all while reporting back to the shadows. The sadness for fans comes from seeing Eric, the patriarch, engage in such duplicitous behavior. Is he really helping Katie, or is he a Trojan horse sent to ensure the Logan brand fails before it ever reaches the runway? Why this is very sad news for fans. For decades, Eric has been the moral compass of the show. To see him spying or acting as a double agent in the Logan Forrester war feels like the end of an era. The betrayal of Donna Logan has been Eric's biggest supporter. If she finds out her husband is using her sister Katie for his own revenge against Ridge, it could destroy their marriage. Katie's vulnerability. Katie is at her most fragile. She has put her heart, soul, and Bill's money into this venture. Finding out her mentor is actually spying on her would be a crushing blow to her mental health. The death of the mentor figure. Eric was supposed to be the one person Katie could trust. If that trust is broken, who does she have left? The ripple effect. Will and RJ. The drama doesn't stop with the elders. This spying scandal is leaking down to the next generation. Will Spencer is already worried that his mother's new business will ruin his standing at Forrester, and R.J. Forrester, recently returned and played by Brian Nicoletti, is caught right in the middle. R.J. wants a three-generation collaboration. But how can he work with a grandfather who is actively undermining his aunt? What to expect next? The confrontation. As we head into the end of January, the pressure cooker is about to explode. Brooke discovers the truth. Spoilers suggest Brooke will be the one to stumble upon Eric's true activities at the Logan office. The fashion showdown. The debut collection for Logan is supposed to be a big splash, but if Eric's designs are actually sabotaged versions of his best work, Katie's dream could end in public humiliation. Character current stance risk factor Eric Forrester designing for Logan with a secret agenda. High reputation on the line, Katie Logan trusting Eric with her entire future critical. Total heartbreak looming, Brooke Logan furious at the Logan brand name moderate. Strained sisterly bonds ridge, Forrester determined to crush the competition high. Relationship with Eric the verdict. Can Eric be redeemed? Is this just a classic soap opera misunderstanding? Or has Eric truly turned to the dark side? The sad news isn't just about the spying, it's about the loss of the Eric Forrester we once knew. He claims he wants to teach Ridge and Brooke a lesson in respect, but at what cost? If he destroys Katie in the process, he may find himself more alone in his retirement than he ever feared. The drama doesn't stop with the elders. This spying scandal is leaking down to the next generation. Will Spencer is already worried that his mother's new business will ruin his standing at Forrester, and R.J. Forrester, recently returned and played by Brian Nicoletti, is caught right in the middle. R.J. wants a three-generation collaboration. But how can he work with a grandfather who is actively undermining his aunt? What to expect next? The confrontation. As we head into the end of January, the pressure cooker is about to explode. Brooke discovers the truth. Spoilers suggest Brooke will be the one to stumble upon Eric's true activities at the Logan office. The fashion showdown. The debut collection for Logan is supposed to be a big splash, but if Eric's designs are actually sabotaged versions of his best work, Katie's dream could end in public humiliation. Character current stance risk factor Eric Forrester designing for Logan with a secret agenda. High reputation on the line, Katie Logan trusting Eric with her entire future critical. Total heartbreak looming, Brooke Logan furious at the Logan brand name moderate. Strained sisterly bonds ridge, Forrester determined to crush the competition high. Relationship with Eric the verdict. Can Eric be redeemed? Is this just a classic soap opera misunderstanding? Or has Eric truly turned to the dark side? The sad news isn't just about the spying. It's about the loss of the Eric Forrester we once knew. The bold and the beautiful are reeling today after a deeply unsettling revelation rocked the Forrester, Spencer, Logan axis to its core. In a twist no one wanted to see, yet everyone feared was coming, Eric Forrester has crossed a shocking new line by secretly spying on Bill Spencer and Katie Logan, the beloved but fragile Batie. What began as quiet concern has curdled into covert surveillance, mistrust and betrayal, and the emotional cost may be far higher than Eric ever imagined. This is not just another power play. This is not just another Forrester scheme. This is a heartbreaking collapse of boundaries, driven by fear, regret, and a desperate need for control. A patriarch's fear turns dangerous. Eric Forrester has always styled himself as the moral compass of the Forrester family, the elder statesman who, despite his flaws, believes deeply in loyalty, legacy, and love. But lately, viewers have watched that moral compass wobble. Behind Eric's growing unease is one haunting question. Is Bill Spencer going to hurt Katie again? Bill's history with Katie is complicated at best and emotionally brutal at worst. From betrayals and manipulation to broken promises and public humiliation, Dollar Bill has left scars that never fully healed. Eric knows this. Everyone does. And yet, despite all warnings, Katie and Bill are once again circling each other, drawn together by shared history, lingering love, and unfinished business. Instead of confronting them directly, or trusting Katie to protect her own heart, Eric chose a darker path. He started watching, listening, gathering information. And now the truth is out. Spying on Batie, how far has Eric gone? Sources close to the situation suggest that Eric didn't just overhear a conversation or stumble upon a secret by accident. This was deliberate, calculated, sustained. Eric reportedly used his connections, staff, schedules, overlapping business interests to track Bill and Katie's movements. He paid close attention to where they met, how often they spoke, and what tone their conversations took. He listened from adjoining rooms. He lingered when he should have left. He remembered details he shouldn't have known. In short, Eric became a silent third presence in Batie's relationship. For a man who once preached trust and family unity, the irony is crushing. Why? Katie will be especially devastated. Katie Logan has spent years fighting to reclaim her voice, her confidence, and her autonomy. She survived medical trauma, emotional abandonment, and a marriage that repeatedly left her feeling less than. Choosing to even consider Bill again was not a reckless act. It was a vulnerable one. If Katie discovers that Eric has been spying on her most private moments, it won't just feel like betrayal. It will feel like humiliation. Eric didn't just doubt Bill, he doubted her judgment. He assumed she couldn't protect herself. He decided that her heart was public property, open for monitoring and management by others who know better. For Katie, that cuts deeper than any of Bill's past mistakes. Bill Spencer, furious, cornered, and dangerous. If there is one thing Bill Spencer cannot tolerate, it's being controlled. Learning that Eric Forrester, his longtime rival, occasional ally, and constant thorn, has been spying on him will ignite a rage that could scorch everyone nearby. Bill already believes the Forresters view him as a necessary evil, never fully worthy of trust. This revelation will only confirm his worst suspicions. But here's the dangerous part. Bill won't just be angry, he'll feel challenged. And when Bill feels challenged, he doesn't retreat. He retaliates. Eric may believe he's protecting Katie, but by spying on Batie, he may have pushed Bill into proving, aggressively, that no one controls him. Is this about protection or power? The saddest question of all may be this. Is Eric truly worried about Katie? Or is he terrified of losing control over the narrative? Eric's recent actions across the board have raised eyebrows. From inserting himself into business decisions to aligning with unexpected allies and undermining Ridge, Eric has been behaving less like a benevolent patriarch and more like a man afraid of becoming irrelevant. Batie represents something Eric cannot manage. A Spencer, Logan bond outside Forrester influence. A love story that doesn't answer to him. A future he didn't design. By spying, Eric reasserts control, even if it means sacrificing trust. And that is what makes this development so painfully sad. The emotional cost to the entire family. This secret won't stay buried. When it comes out, and on B&B it always does, the fallout will ripple outward. Ridge will be forced to confront his father's hypocrisy. Donna may find herself defending the man she loves or questioning him. Brooke will likely side with Katie, reopening old Forrester, Logan wounds. Will Spencer could be caught in the crossfire if family tensions explode. What started as concern could fracture multiple families beyond repair. Fans react. This isn't the Eric we loved. Viewers are already expressing heartbreak and disbelief. For many longtime fans, Eric Forrester represented wisdom earned through pain, not paranoia fueled by fear. Online reactions echo a common sentiment. Eric spying on Katie feels wrong on every level. He's becoming the very thing he used to stand against. Protecting someone doesn't give you the right to invade their life. This storyline isn't just dramatic, it's emotionally unsettling because it challenges everything Eric claimed to stand for. Where does Batie go from here? Ironically, Eric's spying may do the exact opposite of what he intended. Instead of pulling Bill and Katie apart, it could push them closer together, united by the shared realization that they're being judged, monitored and manipulated from the outside. Or it could destroy any fragile trust they were rebuilding, leaving Katie once again disillusioned and Bill more hardened than ever. Either way, Eric Forrester has forever altered the course of Batie's story, and not in a way that feels loving or noble. Final thoughts. A very sad turning point. Today's news isn't sad because of a betrayal between lovers. It's sad because of a betrayal between generations. Eric Forrester didn't just spy on Bill and Katie. He crossed a moral line that can't easily be uncrossed. In trying to protect the people he loves, he became someone they may no longer recognize. And when the truth finally comes out, the greatest loss may not be a romance or an alliance, but the trust in a patriarch who once stood for something better. Protecting someone doesn't give you the right to invade their life. This storyline isn't just dramatic, it's emotionally unsettling because it challenges everything Eric claimed to stand for. Where does Batie go from here? Ironically, Eric's spying may do the exact opposite of what he intended. Instead of pulling Bill and Katie apart, it could push them closer together, united by the shared realization that they're being judged, monitored, and manipulated from the outside. Or it could destroy any fragile trust they were rebuilding, leaving Katie once again disillusioned and Bill more hardened than ever. Either way, Eric Forrester has forever altered the course of Batie's story, and not in a way that feels loving or noble. Final thoughts. A very sad turning point. Today's news isn't sad because of a betrayal between lovers. It's sad because of a betrayal between generations. Eric Forrester didn't just spy on Bill and the beautiful news delivers a heartbreaking gut punch that fans never saw coming. In a move that feels equal parts shocking, tragic, and deeply unsettling, Eric Forrester and Katie Logan have formed what many are already calling an unholy alliance. Once symbols of wisdom, compassion, and moral grounding within their families, Eric and Katie now stand united in a partnership that threatens to destroy the very people they claim to love, and the fallout is already devastating. This isn't just another business deal. This isn't a harmless strategy shift. This is a betrayal layered with grief, secrecy, and irreversible consequences, and it may mark one of the darkest turning points the show has seen in years. A partnership born in silence and sorrow. At first glance, no one suspected a thing. Eric Forrester, the legendary patriarch of the Forrester dynasty, appeared weakened, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. His recent health scares and brush with mortality softened him in the eyes of his family. Many believed Eric was entering a reflective phase, one focused on legacy, healing old wounds, and mending broken relationships. Katie Logan, meanwhile, seemed fragile yet hopeful. After years of emotional trauma, romantic disappointments, and near-death medical crises, Katie appeared to be reclaiming her sense of peace. She was cautious, thoughtful, and protective of her loved ones, especially her son Will. So when whispers of quiet meetings and private conversations began circulating around Forrester Creations, most dismissed them as coincidence. No one imagined Eric and Katie were conspiring together behind closed doors. But now the truth is out, and it's devastating. The motive no one wants to admit. What could possibly drive Eric Forrester and Katie Logan to cross lines so dangerous that even longtime fans are recoiling? The answer is painfully complex and deeply sad. Eric is a man grappling with the fear of irrelevance. As Ridge, Steffi, and the next generation seize control of Forrester Creations, Eric feels pushed aside, his authority quietly stripped away. His legacy, once unquestionable, now feels fragile. And fear, when left to fester, can turn even the most principled man desperate. Katie, on the other hand, is driven by something far more emotional, control born from trauma. After everything she survived, failed marriages, betrayal by Bill, constant health scares, Katie is terrified of being powerless again. She wants security, stability, and influence. And somewhere along the way, she convinced herself that aligning with Eric was the only way to guarantee those things. Together, they didn't just form a partnership. They formed a pact fueled by fear. betraying family in the name of protection. What makes this alliance so heartbreaking is not just what Eric and Katie are doing, but who they are hurting. Eric's actions cut directly into Ridge's soul. Ridge has spent years fighting to prove himself worthy of leading Forrester Creations, all while trying to maintain respect for his father. Now, Eric's secret maneuvering feels like a slap in the face, a cruel message that says, "I don't trust you." For Katie, the damage is even more personal. Her sisters, Brooke and Donna, are blindsided. They believed Katie stood for honesty and loyalty above all else. To learn that she's been making calculated decisions behind their backs, decisions that could destabilize the family and the company, feels like an unforgivable betrayal. And then there's Will. Katie insists everything she's doing is for her son. But fans are already asking the painful question, what kind of example does this set? Will is watching his mother choose secrecy over truth, power over integrity, and the consequences could follow him for the rest of his life. Brooke's world comes crashing down. Perhaps no one is more devastated than Brooke Logan. Brooke has weathered countless storms, broken marriages, public humiliation, endless battles with Taylor, but this betrayal cuts deeper than most. Eric was once her anchor at Forrester Creations, a voice of reason when Ridge wavered. Katie was her confidant, her moral compass when everything else fell apart. Now, both have turned away from her. Sources tease that Brooke will soon confront the truth, and when she does, it won't be quiet. Expect raw emotion, tears, and rage as Brooke realizes the two people she trusted most have been playing a dangerous game behind her back. This revelation could permanently alter Brooke's relationships, not just with Eric and Katie, but with Ridge as well. And if Brooke feels pushed into a corner, history tells us one thing: she fights back. A power grab disguised as loyalty. What's especially chilling about Eric and Katie's alliance is how carefully it's been framed as necessary. They claim they're protecting Forrester Creations. They insist they're preserving the company's future. But the reality feels far darker. Their move suggests a quiet power grab, one that sidelines key players, manipulates emotions, and rewrites the rules without consent. Eric, once the heart of the Forrester family, now risks becoming its shadow ruler, pulling strings from behind the scenes. Katie, once the voice of empathy, now risks becoming something unrecognizable, a woman willing to sacrifice trust for control. That transformation is what makes today's news so deeply sad. The beginning of the end? Fans are already speculating that this unholy alliance won't last. And when it implodes, the damage could be irreversible. Eric's health is fragile. Stress, guilt, and emotional conflict could take a serious toll. If his family turns against him, he may find himself more isolated than ever before. Katie, meanwhile, may soon realize she's gone too far. The moment Will, Brooke, or Donna confront her with the truth, the weight of her choices could come crashing down. Redemption may be possible, but not without loss. And let's not forget Ridge. Ridge Forrester does not forgive betrayal easily. If he discovers the full scope of Eric and Katie's maneuvering, the consequences could be explosive, both professionally and personally. The Forrester family may never look the same again. Why this story hurts so much? What makes this storyline resonate so powerfully is its emotional realism. This isn't about villains twirling mustaches or obvious bad guys. It's about good people making terrible choices out of fear. It's about aging, insecurity, trauma, and the desperate need to feel relevant and safe. Eric and Katie didn't wake up intending to become antagonists. They slid there slowly, quietly, one compromise at a time. And that's why today's news is so sad. Final thoughts. A line that can't be uncrossed? As the bold and the beautiful moves forward, one question looms large. Can Eric and Katie come back from this? Or have they crossed a line that can never be undone? Their unholy alliance has already cracked the foundation of two legendary families. Trust has been shattered. Loyalties are in question. And the emotional fallout is only just beginning. This isn't about villains twirling mustaches or obvious bad guys. It's about good people making terrible choices out of fear. It's about aging, insecurity, trauma, and the desperate need to feel relevant and safe. Eric and Katie didn't wake up intending to become antagonists. They slid there slowly, quietly, one compromise at a time. And that's why today's news is so sad. Final thoughts. A line that can't be uncrossed? As the bold and the beautiful moves forward, one question looms large. Can Eric and Katie come back from this?